Welcome back to the Silly Little Girls Club podcast, and my guest today is Karlee, the founder of Hello Klean. Hello Klean is this incredible beauty brand that Karlee has built all around problem-solving hard water and the issues that it brings to us, our hair, our skin, and how she is transforming the way that we can get over this. We're going to be talking about her being on Dragon's Den and getting all of the investment that she needed and what that looks like afterwards. So this is going to be a very inspiring conversation. Welcome to Silly Little Girls Club. I'm so excited to have you here, Karlee.
Thank you so much. Really a big pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I know for background, obviously, we've been working together on a few things with your rebrand and relaunch, really, of Hello Klean. And I just couldn't think of a better guest. Like, your story is so inspiring, and I think it will be really nice for people to know more about what goes into building Hello Klean.
Thank you. I'd love to share.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing is, like, what is Hello Klean? How did it come about? Because it's such a niche product, really. And I just think it'd be really nice to hear from you, like, what brought it about?
Yeah, so Hello Klean, we make beauty solutions for your water. And I founded the brand 4 years ago when I was still living in Berlin in Germany. And it came a lot from my own personal struggles because after I finished uni, I had lived and moved and worked in a couple different countries. And for every single time that I relocated, my hair and skin was really just not having it. And as we also talked on the panel, what was really like getting to me is that every time I moved, the symptoms would be different. One place I would have rashes on my feet every time I shower. And then there would be the time when I was living in Dubai and I would just wash my hair, put my finger through the strands and notice that it's falling out a lot more than usual. So, of course, I panicked. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'm like deficient on my vitamins.
The thing to think about is like, what's wrong with me? But it's not you.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, then maybe there's something wrong with the shampoo that I'm using. Maybe like my hair is not acting well with, the dryness in the air or something. So I switched my products and then nothing was really like fully fixing it. So then I went to like a trichologist, dermatologist, and then learned that it was finally, the water that was impacting my hair and skin. And then once I learned that it was, water and hard water, which is essentially water that's rich in minerals such as calcium and magnesium, I started to look for a solution for myself. So I was like, okay, what are the options out there? And the main one was, okay, let's get these humongous industrial systems fitted into the house. That wasn't an option because I was renting at that time. So I don't think my landlord's going to like that.
Bring in this massive machine, but
you have to build it into the wall or else it's just going to be like kind of staying in the side. And then the other option was if you go on Amazon, there would be a lot of like those filtered shower heads with the beads. And coming from a beauty background and also being a beauty consumer, I felt like that just didn't resonate with me. The entire user journey wasn't trustworthy enough and it didn't make me feel good to buy. And then the last option was then kitchen DIYs, like using baking soda, using ACV and just kind of like diluting it and getting rid of the buildup. And I was like, okay, why is there not a product that, people like myself can enjoy using and just actually help with the issue? So that's kind of how Hello Klean came about. I wanted from day one to make hard water, which is affecting so many people, into something that's less industrial and something that's really easy to get. And also something that's people just enjoy seeing it in their bathroom.
Yeah, I think that's what really strikes me about Hello Klean is like it's accessible. So it's like, it's easy to get. You can just order it, but also it looks good. Like the products look nice. The shower head is nice because, like you say, those water filter things are so ugly. And if you can't build them in, and they're so expensive.
Yes.
And I think this is such an accessible solution for people. And like, it takes a while to really educate people that, you know, hard water is a massive problem. And people, like you say, exactly like what you had, think it's their products, or they think that, you know, it's something wrong with them deficiently. Why does it take us so long to connect the dots that actually it's the water?
Yeah. I mean, we constantly use this phrase, it's not you, it's your water.
Yeah, I
And
love
it's
that.
one of those things where if you just try to break it down and not make it like very overwhelming with the education, people are like, oh, okay, it's me. It's more than just like lime scale or you know, the stuff that's appearing on your kettle, but these are actual issues I identify with.
Yeah, it's incredible. So you've got your idea. You've spotted that, you know, you need to take on hard water and tackle these issues. How do you go from like that idea to creating like a global brand? Like, how does that come about?
It's constantly doing trial and error and making mistakes.
That's reassuring to know.
Yeah. So when we first started, like it was just bootstrapped from the beginning, and I had taken out my own like savings to you know, get the stock. So that means there was nothing left for marketing, influencers, PR, or anything. And then with the packaging, I had designed it on Canva.
I love this story.
And then with the website, it was done on Shopify, which I like, thank God for that.
It's such a good platform, right?
Yeah. And then I was like, we didn't really even have a proper like budget to do photo shoot. So I was looking on stock image.
Yeah.
I was like, we need to find like some, you know, stock video assets of people like washing their hair. And then I'm like, okay, this can work. Let's combine it together, put some images of the products, make it into a website and start running ads.
Yeah.
And then, you know, in the beginning, it wasn't always easy. And I think what really helped kick things off the ground is we started with something called free trial.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're like, okay, we know the products works. We know that everyone who bought it are really like obsessed with the results. How can we get it into more people's hands? So we were like, okay, if the free trial concept is that you only have to pay for shipping.
Yeah.
And then if you're happy with the results, then we'll bill you 30 days later.
Right. Okay.
And then, so like for a lot of consumers, they're like, okay, this is a new brand. Haven't heard of this before. It's like risk-free for me.
Yeah, so it's try before you buy, right?
Exactly. But everything was just like pretty much done online. And I was like, let's make it a gamble and see, you know, what can happen.
That's not scary.
It was really scary, but you know, at that phase, you're like, you have nothing to lose.
Well, no, it's all the money that you've invested.
Right? Yeah. But it's like, what could go wrong more than that, you know?
Yeah.
So we tried it, and then it really kicked off. And then that gave us, you know, kind of our initial cash flow then to, you know, invest into product development, marketing, and then, you know, PR and everything.
That's insane. That's so, I mean, I've never really thought about like, you know, people doing that free trial. That's actually really intuitive. Like that is innovation in itself. Like it's incredible. Like what a gamble, and it paid off.
Yes.
And did that really spur people into like ordering it then? Did you notice a real uptake in?
For sure.
Yeah,
because like when we were first launched and I was looking at the website and being like, okay, why are people not converting? And then we tried to like bring out surveys towards, you know, end of the checkout process.
Which no one ever fills out.
And actually they do.
Did they?
I'll ask them to write long sentences, no. But if you give them like short answers and they just click.
Oh, easy.
People would do it. And one of the main like barriers was that they felt like it was too new of a brand. It was something different they haven't seen before, and they have issues trusting it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, with trusts, that takes time to build, and you need like, you know, a lot of investment into PR, which we didn't have resources for. So I'm like, okay, let's tackle trust another way.
Yeah.
Let me give you something, gamble on it, and then if you're happy, then you stay on as a subscriber.
That's amazing. And so that just really turned the point for your cash flow then, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And did you start with the shower head and filters and then building products, or was it kind of all at once?
No, so we started with the shower filter.
Yeah.
The one that attaches under the tap. And that was the one with the free trial.
Yeah.
And the second product we launched was Clarifying Scalp Soak,
Yep.
which was an ACV-infused treatment for the tackling scalp buildup.
Yeah.
And it was kind of it was also a gamble because when things started to kick off, like a lot of our customers were like, "Oh, you should launch a drinking water filter next." And they were like, "It just made sense." But I'm like, "No, I don't think so. I think it made sense from logic, but I think in terms of like vision for the company and dream, it was always going to be a beauty company."
Yeah.
And that meant like tackling all of the hair and skin issues. And even if it's taking more of a risk launching into wash-offs with no prior experience, it was something that we wanted to take.
Yeah. And I think one thing I learned, because we did a panel for your relaunch, and one thing that I learned on that is that hard water isn't actually bad for drinking. So actually making a water filter, while, you know, filtering things out there is a big thing for that. But it's more the problems that it causes, the beauty problems it causes, right? So that's why I think, yeah, when you talk, it makes so much sense to me that to align with the beauty business, because that is the problem that hard water causes, especially for women. Like, it's crazy the difference that it makes. And I think, not doing a water filter just kind of makes sense, really, when you think about it like that. But yeah, I guess so. When one of the first times I actually heard of Hello Klean was seeing you guys on Dragon's Den, which
did you watch that?
Yeah, of course I did. Like, I honestly, and I think a lot of people would have seen it on there. And like, how does that come about? Like, what made you want to do that? Because that is a big thing to do, not only as a business owner, but also to put yourself out there. And
yeah, it was. I think it's one of the most stressful things we've ever done. And so we filmed Dragon's Den 2 years ago in 2022.
Yeah.
But it took like an entire year for them to just, arrange the episodes. And it was aired like last year in April. It was such a great experience. And so it was, interestingly enough, BBC had actually gotten in touch with us.
Oh, stop it. That's amazing.
And they were like, "Oh, we think what you're doing is really cool. And, would you be interested in Dragon's Den?"
Yeah.
And I'm not from the UK, and I haven't watched Dragon's Den.
Fine.
I knew Shark Tank.
Yeah, which is the American equivalent, I think.
Yeah. And then she was like, "Do you have time for a call? I'm just going to ring you." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And one of the producers called me, and she starts immediately like asking like very specific like numbers questions.
Oh God, yeah, like I don't know about you, but I'm not a numbers person.
Yeah, at first I was like, I'm not a numbers person, and the second one I was like, is this like a scam?
Yeah,
or something?
Yeah.
And then I even asked her that. I'm like, "Sorry, but I really don't know you. Can you like send me some documents just to verify?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had the initial chats, and then my partner and Omar were just like, "Okay, well, it's a wonderful opportunity, and let's go."
Yeah.
And so we started the due diligence process that took a while and a lot of preparations.
Right.
We had to pitch it to the producer and then their entire team, so it was 2 rounds.
Oh my
God. And then, it's one of those things where you feel like, oh, I memorized my pitch, and I feel quite okay with it. I had sticky notes all over my apartment, grouping like questions based on color. But when you walk into the den, it's still really stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
You're like wired with the mic and
the lights,
and all the dragons are like sitting in an elevated position, and it's like 2 hours.
Oh my God.
But on TV, it's like 15 minutes.
So like you pitching to them for like 2 hours then, and then they edit it down to like that small window. That's intense.
Yeah.
Were the other businesses pitching at the same time, like before and after you? Did you have like a slot where you go in?
You had a slot where you went in. I think on that day it was 4.
Oh gosh, okay.
Businesses in total.
Wow. So yeah, and do you see them in like the rooms before or anything like that, or is it just you go?
No, it was pretty much like everyone like separate.
Perfect.
And I also think that it was I wanted to really chat and network, but I was so nervous. I'm like, I can't even properly speak right now. Let me
Just thinking back to those post-its.
memorize my pitch.
Oh, wow. So all the prep that goes into that then is like, essentially pitching to behind the scenes before you even get in front of the dragons. Gosh. And was your idea behind dragons then, was it actually to get investment, or was it more to get, the exposure that a show like that can give you? Because investment or no investment, you see companies that go on that and they actually don't get investment, or they turn down investment and then they go on to big and amazing things. And so was that were you actually there for investment, or was it more
so
the
it's
experience?
A mixture of both. Definitely for the investment. And then also I think that it's just such a rare opportunity that you're on BBC prime time for 15 minutes where you get to own your narrative and tell your product in a way that's organic and not salesy.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of nice experience that I would want the public to learn about us.
Yeah, so I feel like, what a great opportunity it was to talk why you're doing this, and it is a problem-solving business, and that is what I think I personally love so much about it, is it's actually helping solve people's beauty problems. And I think getting that across then, because you did get investment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got 3 offers from Deborah and Tucker, as well as Steven.
Wow.
And then we chose to go with Steven. We agreed on with a deal on the show.
Wow. Oh, that is incredible. Did you think that you would did you go in thinking, you know what, I actually have got this, I can get these on board? Were you quite confident?
To be honest, I didn't really think that much. No. I was just like, let's finish the day. Yeah. And it was it's one of those things where it's it is stressful because they do grill you.
Yeah.
And I remember at some point, I was talking a lot and then my mind had blanked. And Peter asked me, because they built out a set on set. And it was with the whole shower system. He was like, so tell me, where does the water come out from? And
the shower?
And because it was just my mind had completely blanked. And I was like, well, there's no water that comes out because this is fake. And he was like, and I was like, I'm sorry.
I'm just answering things very literally right now. And because this is a set, duh.
Yeah, but luckily they didn't air that bit.
I could say for the bloopers. That would have been a great outtake. So I guess when you get these offers, did you go into it being like, right, if I get an offer from this dragon, or this dragon, did you know you was going to choose to go with, was it Stephen Bartlett you went with, right? Did you know, is that the one you wanted?
Yeah, so they do ask you in advance, and who is your ideal dragon? And we had initially said Stephen.
Oh my gosh, what did that feel like when you got the offer?
It was like, oh my God, it's amazing, because it just feels like it's a great alignment,
Yeah, it's like you put in all that work and all that prep, and then it's it kind of validating in a way, I guess. Was it I just feel what an amazing experience that must have been, to be honest with you. And that's when you go, do they tell you there and then on the show that you've got the investment? Is it do they tell you live so they get the reaction and things?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's insane. The pressure that, I can't imagine it. I feel like you guys are so brave.
Yeah, and there's a wall in the back, and there was some negotiations, and yeah.
Oh, wow.
And even while you're negotiating, you can feel there's a camera swinging towards you, and it's
she just don't do anything weird. He's fine.
Yeah.
So you filmed that in 2022, and then it ends in 2023. What happens after filming then? How does that turn around? When do you get your investment, and how does that part work? Because I feel like they never talk about that.
Yeah, so after you finish filming the episode, basically you're directly connected with the Dragon's investment team.
Yep.
And then you continue the conversation then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And so do you feel like taking the investment has really helped catapult the Hello Klean business? Because I feel like now you're doing a rebrand and everything is looking, I think Greg, my other half, said, made shower heads sexy. Like, that's quite like, and it's true. But I mean, how much of the investment and having that, like, you know, broader team now as accredited to that, do you think?
Yeah. So from our side, after the show had aired, like after a couple of months and some, like, you know, back and forth between Stephen and the team, we actually decided that it wasn't the right match to continue further, because we felt like in terms of like Stephen, his more focus is on biohacking, while as ours is more on like beauty. So we're like, okay, you know, let's then pause this and then, you know, open the conversation when it's a more suitable time.
Yeah.
But other than that, like once the episode had aired, like our sales has like went up like 6 times. And it's just really amazing to see. And I had initially thought that, oh, it's just on the day of the episode and it would go down. But I think it's one of those things where it just continued and continued. And then we're like also pushing it with, you know, ads and also like, you know, a 360 like marketing.
Gosh, so like, that brand awareness alone just really helped. That is, I mean, and then you say you've got such a good product that works so well to the point where you're confident to do things like free trials in the past, and then, you know, couple that with the exposure, and I suppose it's the perfect storm, isn't it?
Yeah, no, we're very lucky.
Yeah, nice. I don't know. When people say they're lucky in business, I'm like, it's not luck, because like you literally worked for this and you had like an incredible idea and you executed it. And I think a lot of people, when I'm speaking to them, like they have these ideas, but they never get them to fruition. And I think that's the difference, isn't it? Is taking your idea and actually making it work and putting you all into it. And you get that with Hello Klean.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that it's one of those things where it's like you can have like strategy and you can think and you can brainstorm all you want. But in the end of the day, when it comes to business, you just need to roll up your sleeves and do, especially in a startup environment. And I feel like you would get this.
You just, I mean, you wear every hat in the beginning, don't you?
Yeah.
Like product designer for you, and then like marketing officer. Like it's insane, like the hustle that comes into like a startup business of any kind, be it product, being bricks and mortar. Like, some days, like even now, I'm a plumber some days. You know, that toilet's blocked, then no one else is going to fix it. I have to go fix it. It's just, you have to get on with it. And I think that's where some people can fall down a little bit, is they think that, you know, that's not my job. But actually, when it's your company,
everything is your job.
Right?
You know, if there's leaking water, we all have to just go and mop it.
Yeah.
You can't be like, well, I'm going to wait like 2 days.
Yeah, let's all slip on that. Like, that's it. And then it is your job, because then you've got legal counsel and you're being sued. So it's, it's quite something. I mean, starting, like, do you feel like having that like real niche gap that you spotted is like been a blessing or a challenge?
I think I've only started to feel like it's a blessing like recently, because definitely in the beginning it was a lot of challenge. I think not everybody got it, and because not any similar product really existed. So when you're trying to tell retailers, they'll be like, okay, so what is this? Is this body? Is this hair? Is this tools? And then also like when you're trying to, like, for instance, even like from friends and family, like my family was like, no one's ever gonna buy this. It looks very strange. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
It works.
Yeah.
And they all converted now. They've tried it though.
Exactly. And I think that's, you know, I really believe that human beings, sometimes we are very literal, but when you have the vision and you can show them what it can be, then people believe in it. But in the beginning, everyone was like, oh no, it's not going to sell. It's not going to work. Well, if it worked well, why is there nobody else doing that?
That's just, nobody spotted it. Like, it's like, it's so funny. I feel like, because obviously you've got your co-founder who is a guy. How does that dynamic work? Because I'm always interested when like there's a female and a male like founders. Do you ever find that like, you know, more the serious questions are directed at him, and like, or do you feel like Because I just don't know, because sometimes it's like when you're a woman and you're really trying to push out a business, but then there's a guy stood there, it's almost like people's natural reaction to talk to them.
Yeah,
Find that?
it's like they know their stuff. They're naturally gravitated towards him. And sometimes, I don't know if I'm being too sensitive or something. It just feels like, they're not fully taking you serious.
Yeah.
If it's in a room with like other guys.
How do you deal with that? Do you sort of interject and be like, I've got this answer, or do you kind of just let it happen?
Well, like, okay, so between like me and Omar's dynamic, he looks after finance and operations, and I look after branding and product development.
Okay.
So we're kind of like very evenly
You've got your lanes, right?
So I'm really glad for that, because you don't have a situation where there's like too many cooks in the kitchen. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah.
So that's good. And basically, like, whatever I do, he doesn't questioning it or something. But the only thing that we have disagreements on is budget. Because like,
do you want to spend more? Please finance. And you're like, no, we need it for marketing.
We're like, we need it. And he was like, but tell me, how is this, for instance, launch event? I'm like, yes, it's gonna do really well, because so and this and that is like gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I would say, to your other question, we are talking to like investors right now, like more like on the VC and PE side. And sometimes you would have situations where if everyone's sitting in a room, like say, he's here, I'm here, there's, a couple of other councils. And there was one time where this guy, I'm sitting right there. He just put his arm like this. And
You're like, excuse me. And
then I was really upset, that day. But I also was like, I didn't want to make a big scene out of it.
Yeah.
But then at some point, I'm like, okay, if some guy is like that, it only just speaks to how he is.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with my self-worth. And if speaking to Omar makes him more comfortable about, the business, then so be it. It's better for the business. I just try to see it like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very nice way to see it, I think, because it's like, it is frustrating when you get overlooked sometimes, and like, it's like, no, hang on, I founded this company as well. Like, this is mine. And I think, having that sort of broader, bigger person attitude is actually good, because at the end of the day, if it's going to help him give you his investment, why the hell not, I guess.
Yeah, and it's also like, I feel like as business owner, there's so many things like that I can get upset about, and I just didn't want to take too much of my headspace, especially something I cannot change.
No, that's actually really admirable. So you're doing a rebrand.
Yes.
Like, how? So we've gone from like your Canva design products, and now if anybody is new to Hello Klean, you need to check out the packaging, because it is next level. Like, I love that it's larger, so it's more sustainable. Like, it's beautiful. What made you decide to rebrand? Like, because obviously it's been going well up until this point as well. So why rebrand?
A couple of different factors. I always felt like when I'm noticing with our current community, prior to the rebrand, we would have great sales, right? On, periods where we're offering discounts. And that's great. And I feel like that's applicable to every single brand. But I felt like at some point it started to make me question, you obviously love my product, but you're only converting when I put out a discount.
Right.
So what's that
disconnect?
The disconnect that 20% is going to, tip the needle. And then I realized that when it comes to a rebrand, like, not necessarily everyone's going to say, oh, I didn't like the design or something felt off. But in the end of the day, with every experience, with every product, it's a feeling. And I just felt like there was that little bit of that feeling that wasn't there. But as we're already growing so fast, if we didn't fix that, that's almost like the foundation.
Yeah.
Then we try to do this 5 years down the line, that's going to be a lot more work. That's going to be just so much more difficult than it is today.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I told Omar, I'm like, we need to like scale back on marketing and really get the foundations right, because it isn't just a packaging update. It's about how we talk about ourselves. It's about, how we see the product line evolving. And once we figure that out, then the marketing, everything will just pay off so much more.
Yeah, once you've got like something to really sing and like shout about, everything else kind of takes care of itself in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a smart move, like to rebrand, and like it's like you say, if you're still on that cusp of it like growing exponentially and like building out the portfolio, sooner rather than later is definitely easier, isn't it, with a rebrand?
For sure.
But what a big undertaking. Like, what's been your sort of favorite part of the rebrand process?
I mean, everything has been like amazing. We found like a very good a creative agency partner who came up with the visual identity, and it almost felt like everything kind of fell into place, because the girl who did our tone of voice, I actually started to follow her on Instagram in 2019.
What?
And I was always like, I love how she writes. One day I'm going to work with her when I have money. And then when we're like, okay, we're going to do our, rebrand, let me try to reach out to her. And she's like, I'm also been like, big fan of you guys. So everything just really clicked.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And it just felt like everything was seamless and nothing was like surprising in a jarring way or something.
Yeah. So like it was aligned, like it was time.
And then I spent a lot of the last year in Asia doing the production, sorting out how the packaging looks, because I don't know, when it comes to production, better some things are done face to face, or if things are left to imagination.
Yeah, and quality control as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so I love spending time with the manufacturers, just sorting out the formulas and seeing it all come together. It's nice.
Oh God, it's so good. And I think my favorite thing about the packaging is pump. Like having a shampoo and conditioner with a pump. Why don't everybody do that? It's just perfect. Like I don't get like why people just don't think about little, like, that experience like you're talking about. Like it's not just a product, it's an experience, and little details like that you've got in there. I'm just like, this is actually genius. And I love the body wash, how it's got the you can see like when you shake it, the ingredients merging together and it being active, and you're just like, this is just so good that you can see that happening in the bottle, because so many people would just cover that up, right? And it's just
Well, thank you so much. I think it's also like a conscious decision when it comes to like product development to packaging, because I know that hard water is not the most sexiest things that people like to talk about at a dinner party. And the only way where we can actually create that awareness and get people to talk about it is by giving products that make people feel good and that is actually like sexier.
Yeah, I just think it works so well. And for me, I think putting yourself out there and really like having that initial idea to seeing it come like this, like years later, it's just incredible. It's so inspiring. And I think to other people that want to do, you have that idea, and maybe people think that things are too niche, but it just shows you that having that sort of gap and really going for it, like magic things happen. Like it's really amazing. I think what I'd love to know from you to like maybe help people that are listening who are thinking about it, what is that like bit of advice that you wish you could go back and tell Karlee, like when you was thinking about this? Is there anything that you wish you had known before you started this journey?
I think the number one thing I would say is don't be scared of people saying no. Yeah. Because before starting, I've always been like quite sensitive, and but before starting Hello Klean, I would take a lot of those, rejections or something quite personally. But after you do it, it's like if you have an idea, you just have to have thick skin and do it and pivot along the way. And even if it doesn't work out, just pivot a little bit like to the other direction. If that doesn't work,
keep going. Yeah, I just keep thinking of that Friends, the Friends episode where they're taking the sofa up the stairs and it's like pivot. I mean, it's actually super relevant. I can see like the social media thing happening now. It's like they said no, pivot, move, and it's like, I guess, yeah, it's such good advice. And it like things change, don't they, as you're going, and things evolve, and
everything evolves. Social media evolves, how we talk to the community evolves. So we just have to be adaptable.
Is it social media that's really helped you, do you think, really grow this business through like marketing and things like that? Yeah,
for sure.
Is that sort of like your biggest marketing avenue?
Yes.
Yeah.
So most of our business is still direct to consumer today. And we just started bringing on retailers starting from like last year.
Yeah, you're a Sephora now.
Yes. That's really exciting. But I think social media is just, it allows you to own your own narrative. And like we were talking about with the pivot, you can constantly test and you can constantly gauge interaction. Whereas if we spend a lot of money and did an outdoor campaign, I don't even know how to measure that. I mean, of course, you should do that when you're really, really big.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we all have a billboard in like Times Square one day or something. But I guess, yeah, the quantifiable, measurable, like tangible, measurable things of that, it's maybe footfall, I guess. I don't know, but at least with like digital traffic, you can measure it and see where to invest and where to pull back.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, that's probably a really good piece of advice for people, isn't it? I guess, like, make sure you're keeping an eye on those sort of things so you're not, because I feel like people could waste so much money on digital marketing if it's done wrong.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for us, like because we scale a lot like via ads, and with all of the ad content going out, we are always like, for instance, this year, Black Friday, 100 pieces of content, one creator, 3 hooks.
Oh, wow.
Just to constantly test. If one hook is not working, we switch to another hook.
Yeah.
And then based on that, we then adjust the brief for the next batch coming.
Wow. My gosh, that's amazing. That is like, but again, it's like those sort of simple things and making sure you've got those measurables, they really deliver. Like, incredible. So yeah, it's been amazing. But I think, is there anything else that we want to cover in our little podcast? I think that's like, you're so good on podcasts. I feel like you've got the voice for a podcast, right?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm always awkward.
No, you're definitely not. Like, you're actually amazing. You're amazing. But let me just review these things. I want to make sure we got all our little things in there. I suppose the next thing to touch on is just
drink water.
Yeah, of course you can. Like, what is next for Hello Klean? Like, we've got the rebrand is happening, it's in progress. Like, what's the future for Hello Klean?
So we have some exciting products lined up in the pipeline, but really looking to wait 1 year until that launches. So, with the rebrand, there's already many, new assortments, new products. We really want to use this experience to just really connect with the community.
Yeah, gosh. And then, yeah, I love that. So you feel like your model is quite adaptive and reactive. So you listen and then like act on what you hear, I guess, from the community.
Yeah,
I love that. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being one of our very first guests on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
While I have you, it would really help me out if you could just hit follow or subscribe, depending on which platform you're getting your podcast from, and I can keep bringing you these amazing conversations with these incredible guests. And yeah, I will see you next week on the Silly Little Girls Club.